Uh-oh, somebody's in trouble. Hey gang, Jeff Stone here with day 13 of the year 2016 at magicreviewed.com. Before we look at the review, let me just say this. Look right here. If you can see my background on my shirt right there, here's what I have to say with you. Here's what I have to say to you. And that is, so freaking what? I don't care anymore. To the lighting in this office, I say, up yours, lighting. You win. I'm going to not care anymore about the lighting. As long as the lighting lights the green screen up enough to where you can see a background and it looks okay in the background, that's all you get, folks, until I move into a bigger place or whatever. And until somebody starts paying me for these reviews, that ain't happening. So, anyway, moving on. Today we're looking at Thumb Fun by Sid Lorraine. And so this is Sid Lorraine trick that he marketed like 40 years ago. And then Devin Knight purchased the rights to it to remarket it and sell it. And he sort of, according to the ad copy, updated the handling a little bit. I'm not familiar with the original, so I don't know. Apparently, Sid Lorraine taught this trick to Doug Henning, and it was one of Doug Henning's favorite tricks. And he even performed it on his stage show with the big camera behind him and everything. And it's a very small trick, so I'll show you in a second what the effect is basically. But so it's just going to come down to if you like the trick or not. It doesn't quite suit me, but I can, it's cute. But again, what I think of the trick is not the point. It's what you think of the trick. So here is my just crappy walkthrough of the basic idea. You just picked the card out of the deck. You picked the 2 of clubs. Got it? Remember that card. So they picked the card. You don't even know it, of course. Well, apparently you don't know it. Anyway, then you show these little cards. They're just, and I'll show you the exact size of them in a minute. They're little, just these little blank cards here. Anyway, so you just show the cards all around. And then, and I'm trying to keep them in frame here so that you can see I don't do any sneaky stuff. And then right now, while I'm holding the cards, would be when the selection process happens, maybe through a crisscross selection, cross-cut selection. Anyway, did I move them out of frame? I promise that that's not necessary for the trick. That was an accident. Anyway, so then the card is selected, and then I just push my thumb here on top, and I push, and when I move it, there's a little thumbprint there, and the thumbprint is 2 of clubs. And this is, I can't quite get the autofocus to work on this, so you're going to have to just take my word that that's a 2 of clubs. The bummer about the autofocus not working is I was hoping to get a good clear shot of the quality of these cards so you could see them. But anyway, that's the effect. And this little packet now can be handed out and examined. It's totally examinable. So that's the basic idea. Now, with it, you get, for $20, $19.95, there's no DVD or anything. It's just written instructions, which we'll look at in a minute. You get 5 cards that are blank on both sides. It's 5 of those. You get 3 cards that have a playing card. There's 3 different cards on there. 2 of clubs, 3 of spades, and 5 of clubs are the 3 cards there. Okay? And then you get these 2. So that's a 2.5. And then, quick, think of a number between 1 and 10. Any number, any digit. And then you make it appear. And what number are you thinking of? Oh, 4? Look, it's on there. That's what that trick is, okay? This one is some thing where you have them think of a number and then add this and do that to it and then divide it by this and then do that. And then what's the answer? And then this, it's going to be 2.5. And that appears. And then lastly, you get 5 of these where it's blank in there and you can write whatever you want. The ESP symbol is a suggestion they have. Somebody's initials, whatever. So that's it. That you get 4 pages of instructions. And the instructions are good. It teaches you exactly what you need to know to handle the cards and to make the thumbprint appear. What they don't teach you is how to have the cards selected. So they do have one version where they just say, don't bother with the selection, just pull a card out and say, hey, let's do a trick with this card. So if you don't know how to have the card properly selected, then you'd have to go with that method. But assuming you're somewhat of a, experienced here, you know how to have the card selected. And then this one, again, that's a gag. This one is just a number force thing. And then the 5 blank ones, or, the blank thumbprints are for whatever you want. But again, it doesn't tell you how to have those things selected, how to get their initials, any of that stuff. So it assumes a certain level of experience. Anyway, so it's a total of 15 little cards. They're like business card stock. And this is a business card. And so you can see right there, just a hair taller than the width of the card. And then they're almost as wide as a card is long, half of the length of a card. Not quite. So that gives you a rough idea of the scale of these things. Here's another way to look at it. Okay. So there you go. It looks like a stick figure. Funny. Anyway, so there you go. That's the size of the cards. They suggest in the instructions to put fanning powder or talcum powder. I didn't find that necessary. They handled just fine. The only thing I was hoping I could really show you guys, and maybe I'll try this again. Come on, autofocus. Okay, slowly. It's a little blurry. Why you do this? Come on. Yeah, ain't gonna happen. I have no idea how to make it focus. So, I wanted you to see the quality. I mean, they're not pixelated, but I don't know. There's something I can't put my finger on or my thumb on that this doesn't quite look right. I mean, it's supposed to look like the ink thumbprint, and so. I mean, they're not horrible, and I don't think it's going to be the kind of thing where somebody's going to look at the card and go, "Hey, that's not ink" or whatever. So I don't think it's anything like that. But there's just something about it that just feels a little bit not quite there. But it's just, again, I can't quite put my finger on it. Also, the one thing I will tell you so the last half of the last page is Sid Lorraine's gags for thumb fun. It's done by sleight of thumb. My wife has a green thumb. When she tries this, she gets shamrocks. I'm glad I'm not all thumbs. I would not know which one to use. You may have noticed I use my left thumb. If anything happens to it, my right thumb would be left. That's an old joke, but this is an old thumb. I've had it for years. For the sake of all that is good and holy, do not use those jokes unless you are in 1937 doing a vaudeville act with Abbott and Costello. And even then, tell them to do the who's on first bit and not do these thumb jokes. Sure, it's all opinion, Jeff, and maybe you think those jokes are hilarious. You have the right to be wrong. It's okay. Anyway, the jokes aside, that gives you a sense of this, this is an old trick, and it just feels like it's an old trick. And so that doesn't necessarily matter. I mean, some of the best tricks are 100 years old. Card through window, that's 100 years old. So if you like the effect, you'll be very happy with it. I mean, the cards are nice. They handle fine, and you've got enough to do. You can repeat these 3 cards all day long. You could do the gag and the 2.5 thing, and then you'll have just 5 of these. You'd have to. I think they actually sell refills. So if you run out of these, you'd have to get more of those. But anyway, it's this one where it was one of those feeling things again, where I probably would want to give it 3.75 stars, but I don't have that as a rating, so I gave it 4 stars. There's nothing wrong with it per se. It's just it's not. There's just something that doesn't feel right, folks, but not something that feels wrong either. So I'm going to shut up now. and tell you that it's 4 stars, stone status of gem, and it's time to like this video, subscribe to my channel. Please tell all your Magi friends to subscribe, share it, spread the love, and listen to the random iTunes song of the moment, which is Stop, Look, and Listen by Patsy Cline. This is a little fun little ditty. Alrighty then, Patsy Cline. That is as close as you'll ever see me to dancing right there. That is Stop, Look, and Listen. I'll put a link to that in the description below. Tune in tomorrow, day 14, where we look at an ebook, but I happen to have printed it out so I can read it, called Tell Monty by, let me read the subtitle. Tell Monty, Sleight of Mind for the Intrepid Mentalist by John Hostler. That's tomorrow, day 14. I don't know what I said a minute ago, but it's day 14. Until then, folks, peace out.